Hi, I'm Dave,
And I'm Billy.
and we're here to review whiskey today. We've got some Jim Beam as our good old standby. We're going to be comparing it to that more or less because I'm sure this Bulleit Rye 95 proof is going to be much better than the Jim Beam, but we're going to find out. We're going to see, if paying the extra money is actually worth it for Bulleit. And then also while we're doing this, we are going to show you how to speed up your internet. And this is no scam, this is no joke, this is totally for real. We've done it and it's absolutely amazing. Alright, so what are we going to do first? Well, how are we going to taste this and what are we going to taste first?
Well, I feel like we've had the Jim Beam before.
Okay, we've had the Jim Beam.
So I say we start with the Bulleit.
Alright, cool. So are we just going to sip a little maybe? Or?
Yeah, I say we just do half a shot and
Okay.
we'll sip it neat to start with.
Alright. And then while we do that, we can maybe talk about the speeding up of the internet a little bit too.
Alright, perfect. Yeah, because on the Raspberry Pi here, you got the
why don't you
the
jump in
Raspberry
there?
Pi 4. Yeah, so this is 8 gigs of RAM. More power than you actually need, right? Because you said it's only use
I'll use a fraction. It's like
percentage
nothing.
of the other thing, right? And so Dave got his inspiration from, was this Wired magazine? Was it October edition?
Yeah, I think it's on page 27 if I remember correctly.
Let's go here, page 27. Here it is right here. So it talks about it right then and there. Super simple, very straightforward. It's called the Pie-Hole, and it does exactly as Dave said. It speeds up your internet.
So I'm just putting a little here because, obviously we're going to try to be doing some stuff with this Raspberry Pi, and if we're completely insane out of our minds, it's not going to happen. And
Yeah, for 2 blitzes.
yeah. So we want to make sure that at least, we cross that bridge. So we had a little bit of the Jim Beam earlier, we're not going to lie, so we know what it tastes like.
Exactly.
But,
Granted, we did have it with Coke though, so it wasn't just,
correct.
It wasn't just neat
So
like
we'll try
this.
some.
Yeah.
So
I
far,
like the smell of it.
yeah, it smells good.
It's the thing with rye though, it has that little spicy kick.
I was
to
just
it.
gonna say it smells spicy,
Yeah.
and I'm almost worried that it's gonna be like Captain Morgan spiced rum, which I absolutely hate.
It's not gonna be like that.
Yeah. I'm just smelling it. And
Because
I'm
like I've had Bulleit before, and it doesn't taste like the Morgan.
oh yeah, that's very nice and smooth. You can tell it's a little bit higher proof.
I like it.
No bad aftertaste. It doesn't have that spicy Captain Morgan's taste.
But it doesn't have the same flavor as like a standard bourbon would though.
No, I completely agree. No, I think this is good. I think definitely, look into this, try it.
But like for the handle
least.
right there, I mean, what was it? What?
I think it was $35, and I think normally we pay $25, $22, somewhere in that range.
So an extra $12 to $15.
Yeah,
Worth it.
exactly. I'd say so far, and again, we're gonna try some with some mixers. We're gonna try some on the rocks, and let you know what we think as well. So back to the Raspberry Pi while we're sipping here. So more or less, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this thing, and we'll show you completely how to put it together. We're gonna show you how to format the disk for the operating system, how to flash the disk with the operating system. We'll show you how to install all the other utilities and things you need, which it's actually probably isn't going to take you more than an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
How long did it take you in your first run through?
I was playing with it with a VirtualBox, or a virtual machine, which was a little bit more problematic, but once I just said, what, I'm going to use an SSH utility to get over to it and program it that way. It worked out really well with
Which SSH utility did you use?
I used Putty. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Good old Putty.
Yeah. So, but we'll show you how to do that. It's pretty simple, and I think what we should probably do is we should probably try some of this Jim Beam and see what we think.
Sounds good.
And then after we try that, we're gonna unbox this sucker and we'll show you how to put it together. We'll show you how to install everything. It's gonna be fun.
And I don't know if you know this, in Windows 10, you can do SSH straight from PowerShell now.
That's great.
You don't actually have to use Putty.
That's
I
great.
still use Putty, but you don't have to.
Old habits die hard.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Oh, you poured me a nice big one there,
I
Will.
accidentally poured out.
Oh man, Will's trying to make it so we can't finish this
Well,
video. All right, cheers.
Cheers, buddy. He doesn't have that strong, spicy flavor.
Yeah, this is more. I want to say now I've gone down to rubbing alcohol.
Yeah. I mean,
To be honest.
between the two, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like this, Jim Beam is definitely one of those kind of bourbons you want to mix with something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I have here. I mean, I have some Jim Beam mixed with Coke, and honestly, that's the better way to do it.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're absolutely right. And
I'm actually gonna pour the rest of this into my Coke. 'Cause I don't want to drink it neat anymore.
yeah,
Not gonna lie.
that's exactly what I was gonna do. I'm like, you know what? Let me just pour this in here, and just to show you, like, hey, you know, we're doing this with the Jim Beam because it is just not as good as the Bulleit.
Yeah, definitely not neat.
Yeah.
No.
So, but we'll come back and we'll try to do some with some Coke and some 7-Up, and
I'm actually curious to
we'll even
try
put
it.
it on the rocks.
I'm actually curious to try it with the 7-Up.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
do it very often with 7-Up.
Yeah, 7-Up is a winner with whiskey. So let's go ahead and jump into putting this thing together. Now we're gonna taste with Coke on the rocks with the Bulleit and the Jim Beam.
Which one are you gonna start with?
Well, you know what? I really hate to start with the worst first, but I think I'm gonna try the Jim Beam first. And I think being that it's
Do the
mixed
same.
with Coke,
It won't be as bad.
it won't be as bad. So let's try this.
I mean, it's a lot better with the Coke
Yeah, yeah,
than when it was neat.
yeah, exactly. No, I think you're absolutely correct.
Alright, I'm excited to try this one here.
And the Bulleit does taste very nice. It's very.
I agree.
It's. What do you think? Like almost like an iced tea kind of flavor.
Kind of, yeah, like almost like an Arnold Palmer
Yeah.
kind of flavor.
Yeah, yeah. I like it. I like it. No, that's good. This is actually really good with the Coke. And again, I think. you
I've
know,
never actually had. I've always either had it on rocks or just neat. The Bulleit, that is. I've never had it with
Yeah,
Coke before.
yeah. No, it's good. It's
I
good.
like
So now, Will, what are we gonna do with this thing?
So we're gonna open this bad boy up. So we have the Canna kit. It's Raspberry Pi 4. Comes with the case, the board itself, and all the different adapters. So we'll start here. We have just the dear valued customer, blah blah blah.
Bunch of crap.
The usual read me first, and this is just saying for the HDMI port, make sure you plug it into this, so on and so forth. So we got here. So we have an HDMI cable
Okay, let's get these out of
with
the
a
way.
micro HD.
Get that crap.
There we go. So we got standard HDMI, micro HD here.
Perfect.
We got the good old clear case. I'll open this bad boy up right here.
Nice.
So here's a right there.
I like that
clear
it's
case.
clear because I've seen all the colored ones, and I think being clear it's kind of cool because you can see everything inside.
See all the inner workings of the board and
Yeah, I
stuff
like
like
that.
Let's take a look. Put that over there. Oh, nice. That's a nice little case. Got the,
Oh, it's
little,
tiny. It's just like a deck of cards.
got the little feet on the bottom there. It opens up actually pretty nice.
And then I think this piece comes off too. Like
Does it?
I think it's another.
It does. The bottom and the
I think
top
it's kinda
comes
hard
off.
to get
Oh,
off.
the bottom
yeah,
comes off.
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, so it's 3 piece. So you got the bottom with the feet and like those air vents to keep the airflow.
Yes, because it does come with a fan, I believe.
Yep, right here. I think this is the fan.
Let's try some more of this Jim Beam.
Yep, we got that nice little heat sink fan right on that bad boy.
Not that great.
Oh, it's better with the Coke though.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's the.
I just love me some
there.
Bulleit. I've never had Bulleit before actually, and so this is the first time we're trying it.
Well,
Or I'm trying it. He's
But
had it before.
it's-
Yeah.
we're popping Dave's Bulleit cherry today.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like it. I like it. I'm a new fan.
So I like this right here, nice little Raspberry Pi.
I like it.
Right
I
on
like
top
it.
Right on there.
That's pretty cool.
Probably 3D printed that bad boy. So it looks like we have some heat sinks. Looks like, yeah.
Show them to the camera because it kind of.
Can you see the little tiny heat sinks? We're gonna put that on the board itself here when we get to that.
Hold on, hold it back up. Thank you. Okay.
So we have right here, you have the nice bigger one, the smaller one. And once we put it on the board, we'll show you how it all works together. We have the power supply itself.
Nice. I always worry about putting the wrong power supply to something and
'Cause you
blowing
don't
something
want fry- you
up.
don't want fry
Exactly.
board.
I mean, it is a what is that? A USB Type C?
It's USB-C.
Yeah. So I mean, I always worry. If it's not the right voltage, you could really screw something up.
I mean, thankfully this one is 5.1. It's the amps that really fuck with things. It's
Yeah.
3.5, so that's a pretty good amount.
And this is actually pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen this before, but this actually plugs into there, and it's an on-off switch. It goes between the power supply and the Raspberry Pi.
Hmm.
So instead of having to unplug it or something, and
Oh,
turn
that's
it
kind
off.
of cool.
Yeah, isn't that killer? Yeah,
That is pretty fun.
very good.
I like that actually.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. And then now we have the board itself.
Dun dun dun.
Got the Raspberry Pi 4 computer Model B.
Are you still under control, Will? Like, you're not going off the rails from too much whiskey?
Not yet.
Okay, just making sure.
Not yet.
We're gonna make it, I think, folks.
It's early enough still.
Yeah.
We have the board here.
Wow, look at that sexy board.
Make sure we're statically discharged already, so we don't have to short this bad boy up. So we have the US, so I'm assuming this is power right here.
That's
right?
power right there,
So we
yeah.
have power right here.
And those little micro HDMI's. Yeah.
That's for this
Yeah.
bad boy right here.
Yeah, I don't
So
know if it can do dual monitor, but it looks like it can.
it might be able to.
That's killer.
We can definitely try that out.
Yeah.
Looks like was this audio right
Audio,
here?
yeah.
So we have two USB 2.0, two USB 3.0. Got your RJ45.
Everything unboxed. What are we gonna start with first? How are we gonna put it together?
I say we just, and then here, right here's a little diagram inside the box to talk about what Dave and I just went over on the board itself, what all the different pieces are and that kind of stuff. Dave, where do you want to start?
Is there a color code on the back of this by any chance? Okay,
Oh, there
so
is.
hey, definitely very important. It's going to show you what pins do what more or less. So hold on to that, don't lose it. So for
And
us,
the pins that Dave's talking about, I'm assuming these pins right here.
these
yes?
pins
Yes.
right here, exactly.
Yep.
And if you're holding it like that, it corresponds just like this. So
Perfect.
you want to look at it with the pins on the top. And in this case, you can see that where pin 4 is, it's red, and where pin 6 is, it's black. So what Will's gonna do is he's gonna hook the fan up to those guys, but we're not gonna do that yet. We're
So
actually gonna.
this is the red and black.
That's the red and black, exactly. Exactly. So we should probably mount the
To the-
board
to this
inside of
right
the
here.
bottom of the case there.
Boom, boom.
I'm really liking this Bulleit.
Yeah, you are.
And once it's in there, we can probably put these heat sinks on. What do you think?
I like that. Let's do that. Nice. You got a nice little cutout here for the micro SD card right here at the bottom.
Yeah, you do not want to have a micro SD card in there before you put it in there because it's gonna
It'll
have problems.
stick out.
Yeah, exactly. So for all you at home, make sure you don't have one in there. And I'm just gonna open these up for you with my big man hands that can't open little baggies. I like want to
You
tear
want
them
my
off with my
you
teeth.
want my dainty fingers?
Yeah, exactly. So, if I remember correctly, Will, and you're probably more dexterous because you're like Doogie Howser, MD. This one goes right here, this one goes right there, and then this one goes on that little guy, and you just gotta peel
Already
off.
has the adhesive on the bottom.
Yeah, you just peel off the adhesive and throw it on there.
Perfect.
We're off to the
Let's
races.
do it. I'll start with the CPU. Good old processor unit. There you go.
Go big or go home.
Exactly.
For everyone. Whoops. Other way
I'm gonna
here.
finish off this Jim Beam here.
This is what this lovely
Yeah, this Jim Beam is
device
just like
looks
the
like.
ringer.
up
Oh
close.
man. Because after you had the Bulleit.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go, gentlemen.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then I'm guessing that you could probably put
Do we
the,
want to put this back?
yeah,
on
maybe
now?
maybe put that one on there, yeah.
All right.
And then you could probably stick the
Fan.
fan on there.
So you got now with the cover on there, so you see it highlights everything right around there. Actually, looks really clean.
Oh yeah,
Like
big
it
time. And I love that it's got all the ports to the case. I mean, I was worried that it was going to be something where it wasn't going to be like that, more or less.
I agree. Like be kind of like notched out or
Yeah,
not
yeah,
super clean.
yeah, exactly. It's very clean. And so,
So this bad boy,
again,
I assume, goes on here, yeah?
yeah, and you know what? You might want to put this on here first to see which side goes which way, because I know that sometimes I get it confused. Because the lid won't go on
Because
the
the
other
wire's
way.
not long enough.
It won't go on the wrong way, so it's got to go on this
Yeah,
way.
because it's actually notched out here.
Yeah. So it looks like what we probably want to do is.
So I'm gonna do it just like that.
I think
That
so.
will just-
I think so. Yeah, exactly. And the for the fan, I believe it does go label out.
Okay. So which way is it? So is it drawing the air that way through?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And it's gonna blow on all the heat sinks, keep them nice and cool.
So I'm gonna put this like that.
Yeah, I guess probably the best. Yeah,
Is that what you have the
I think
cables?
so.
You have the cables
Exactly.
going down
I
that
think
direction?
I think that would work.
That would just fit in right there. Put that in like that. All right, cool. Let's do that now.
I love how everything just snaps into place.
Super clean.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
I bet this was all printed with a 3D printer.
I bet you it was. It had to be.
All right, so now following this diagram here, so we have number 6 is our ground,
Yes.
and we have two 5 volts.
Yes, I believe for some reason, I believe that you can put it on this one if you want the fan to go slower. Is what I read, but they both say 5 volts, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's another 5 volt for another use for
So
something
did
else.
you use 2 or 4 in your previous one?
I used 4 and 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's do this bad boy right now.
I want full airflow.
Yes. As you mentioned earlier, go big or go home.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, then maybe hold it up so our friends can all see here.
So we have 2 and 4 right here, as Dave showed us earlier, on this bad boy. So you follow 2 and 4 on that, and there is 4 and 6. I apologize, 4 and 6. So 2 and 4 are the different 5 volts we mentioned, but 4 and 6 is where we actually plugged it in the ground and the power.
Sweet. It looks like we're about ready to rock and roll, man.
Let's do it. This bad boy.
We're gonna have to finish these drinks before we move to the next segment here, I think. What do you think?
I agree. Well, how do I feel about it? I want to finish my boy.
So, what are the next steps? Are we gonna just plug this guy in and start trying to program it and all that
I
stuff?
figure we could
think?
probably do that,
Yeah.
because all we gotta do now is we have this. We'll hook it up to one of your monitors. We'll throw in the micro SD card once we have it
Perfect.
programmed
Perfect.
in, and then we're off to the races. At that point.
Perfect. All right, so we're gonna finish these. We're gonna move to the other room, and we're gonna go ahead and pick up where we left off. Cheers. We'll
sounds
see you
good.
there. Drinking our Bulleit with 7-Up, which, you know,
It's not as good as
at this
the Coke.
point,
The Coke one was much better.
yeah, the Coke just, I think, complements it. The 7-Up is okay.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Don't get us wrong, but
Yeah.
I definitely would say that if you're gonna mix it with Coke.
I agree.
But we'll keep drinking it and see if our minds change and see where things go. So, Will, we are here. We are ready to start looking at how we're going to play with our Raspberry Pi here and how we're going to get everything rolling. So we've got this here. All we're going to do is we're just going to plug in the Ethernet, and then we're also going to plug in the power. And we've got that all right here, so we're just going to plug it in.
But right now you don't have the card in there, right?
No card yet. No.
So
card.
we have.
Yeah.
So Dave has his little USB to SD card reader, along with the SD card that we're going to be micro SD card we're going to be using right here. That's what we're going to be throwing the operating system on.
By the way, you don't need to turn it on yet. I'm just plugging it in.
You're just preparing for the next steps.
Correct. And do make sure that you do have a router. If you're just plugging it into your cable modem, more than likely it's not going to allow you to do this because you have to change your DNS on your router, and most cable modems do not allow you to do that. So
Because you're going to be making the Raspberry Pi, the Pi-Hole, your actual DNS server at that point.
Exactly. So don't get cock blocked by your Cox cable modem.
Exactly.
So first thing we need to do is we're going to download Putty, and we've already actually done that. We'll go ahead and show that we've got Putty right here. We run the installer, install it, and I've got my little shortcut to it right here. So we're not going to really go through that. You can just download it from putty.org. Pretty straightforward. Then you're going to need to download the Dietpi software. That's going to be the operating system you're going to use. So when you click on download, it's going to take you down here. You can select Raspberry Pi and download that. One thing to note is that you can download a version for VirtualBox if you just want to try to install it. It doesn't really work properly on VirtualBox, but if you just want to play with it and see what it looks like and that kind of stuff. You can do that, but it just doesn't work right.
So that's what you started with, right?
Correct.
Before you had the pie.
I tried to do it just to see what it was like, and it just doesn't work. So anyway, again, we've already downloaded it. We've got it here in the Dietpi Raspberry. You can see I also downloaded it for VirtualBox. We've got the zip file here, and then I've got where I've actually extracted it. So we have it all.
So it has the disk image. So what are you going to use to load this ISO into the actual SD card?
So that we are actually going to use Bulleit Etcher. There's a lot of different programs you can use, and I've seen this one being very popular, and I've used it and it works well, so I guess I'm not going to go against the grain on that one. But again, we've downloaded that already. You know, if you don't have it, do download it. Bulleit.io/etcher, and you can get there that way. But again, you know, I've got Etcher. I've already downloaded the file to set it up. I've got a shortcut on my desktop. We are good to go on that, and we are going to see right there. There's my shortcut. And once you've got all that stuff, the next thing to do is we are going to go ahead and open up Bulleit Etcher, and we have, Will, would you do the honors of opening up this brand new SD card so you can see there is no fakery going on here. This is real. We're not just getting an SSD card from some Joe Schmo on the corner. By the way, you will need an SSD card reader. I've got this one that you just plug it into your USB. It works great. It takes the micro SD as well as the standard SDs.
So you have your standard SD to micro SD card adapter.
Sweet, I like that.
And here is the actual micro SD
All
card
right.
itself.
Can't believe how small these things are nowadays.
And that's 128 gigs.
128 gigs for $15.99. How can you go wrong?
Not bad at all.
And we're going to plug it into the USB here. And now we're going to go to Flash from File. We've got to go to the
So we're going to flash the Pie-Hole.
We're going to flash the Pie-Hole, which, you know, usually that would be in an NC-17 film.
Typically.
Or not rated,
Yeah.
but I would call this one rated R, and we're still flashing the...
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. We're pushing boundaries here.
Exactly. So we're going to select our ISO file that we've already extracted. We're going to select our target, which make sure you pick the right one. You know, if you use the wrong one, you could actually erase something that's really important, so be careful. We know this one's the one that we want. And once you've got all that, flash. And oh yeah, well, I'm sure. And nope, that's okay. And we're gonna...
And how long does this process take?
Not very long, it's pretty quick.
And you look at it right there. It's cranking through the percentages.
Yep. And we're just going to flash forward here, maybe just it's completed. It'll give you a message saying it's done, and at that point you can just close it. We now have our micro SD that's got its operating system on it, and we're going to plug it into the Raspberry Pi. There we go, and now we can just turn it on and see what happens. Now we don't have a monitor hooked up to this, so we can't really see what it's doing right now, and you know, frankly, that's okay because we can just use PuTTY. So we've got Raspberry Pi. And we've got PuTTY, and we don't know actually what the IP address is, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to actually go into our router real quick, and don't look at my password here, and I'm just going to actually fast forward through this real quick so you don't see all my information. Alright, so now we're inside of our router. We're going to find the IP address of the pie, which we see this guy right here, Diet Pie Online. We see this is the IP address, so we are going to copy that and we're going to put it into putty. Oh, that's not it. Did it not copy? Oh, putty, where'd you go? I lost putty, that's what happened. Alright, so we're going to paste this in here. We're going to say yes. And sweet, look at that. And the password, the default password is Diet Pie. Oops.
You might have caps lock on.
Caps locks, no. Diet Pie. Let's see if we can. I think I had the caps locks on. Hang on. Let's close this and start over. Let's go back. Root.
There we go.
There we go. Now we're in. We've got Diet Pie as the password and root as the user ID. This is just going to go through and tell you what's going on, what you're doing, and mostly it's a lot of just selecting OK and letting things install. And again, we're trying this Bulleit here with a 7-Up. It's okay. It's not as good as the Coke. I think I'd maybe even rather sip it instead of the 7-Up, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just have it by itself.
Yeah.
Are you going to set a static IP?
I am going to set a static IP, and we can probably look at the router while we're doing that. We do have it up right here, and what we're going to do is we are going to look at all the addresses that are assigned here in the router and make sure that they're conducive to what it is we want to do. So I think it's always good to have a start IP address of something that is greater than 2. You know, you've got your router on .1. You need some extra space, so just make it 10. Or oh, look at that. 1. Look at that. 10. So that way you've got 2 through 9. You can assign them to anything you want. And then what you're going to want to do is whatever you're going to set your Raspberry Pi to, you'll want to come back and do this later. Right now I'm just showing you. This is what I have set up for my Raspberry Pi, but we'll come back and do that later. So good news is we know exactly where the Raspberry Pi is, and we know what we need to do with our DNS and our DHCP server. So we will go back to putty, and it's still installing, so we're going to fast forward here. Diet Pie is finished installing. There's going to be a series of questions. We're just going to go through them real quick. Opt out, we don't really care. Bye. Purging. And you know what? Definitely change your password. For this, we're not going to change it. It's fine. It's still Diet Pie, but do change it at home. Same thing, asking to change passwords. We're not going to change it, but again, do change it at home. Let's see. Nope, we're just going to let that go. And then here, we don't want to select anything else to install. We just want to install the iOS on its own, or the OS on its own. And nope, yep, we don't want to install any additional software. We're fine. All right, here, and then we're going to fast forward a bit while it installs. Now done installing, so what we're going to do is we're going to install Pie-Hole. And I know everybody loves the name Pie-Hole. It's one of my favorite names for
It's fantastic.
yeah, I mean, how can you have a better name for an app than Pie-Hole? So to do this, we're just going to take this guy, and this is why I like to SSH into it. You know, you can't really just copy this, and it doesn't like the pipe, in their operating system for some reason when we're in the command prompt. So I'm just going to do it this way, and we're going to let it run, and we're going to pause while it runs. All right, so we're back. Everything's finished installing for Pie-Hole. Now we see this message saying it's going to turn it into an ad blocker. Yes, that's exactly what we want. It's going to speed up our internet to block all these ads and a bunch of other stuff that we'll kind of go over. Just hit OK for all those. You don't need to worry about it. I've been told that Cloudflare is the one to choose for this, although I've heard other people say you can really choose anyone you want. Will, do you know anything about this? I mean, does it really matter?
I actually use Cloudflare's DNS at my home.
Okay.
So it actually works pretty well. By default, Cloudflare blocks a lot of malware, malicious sites, and that kind of stuff like that, trying to help you out a little bit. Go-to, honestly, and a lot of stuff I do for if I'm setting up a server, Google DNS is always the second option, because that way you always have something.
Got it.
You can't go wrong with either one of Cloudflare.
I really don't trust Google, so just going to Cloudflare makes me happy.
OpenDNS is another one that you probably could use, but I would use Cloudflare over OpenDNS.
Perfect. Let's use it. And then again, we just got a bunch of stuff where we're like, okay, we're just gonna hit OK. It's fine. Yeah, we want both. I think most people have IPv4 and 6.
Yep.
Then we got our gateway, which we do not want to leave this way, or I guess our IP address we do not want to leave this way.
Yeah, gateway's fine, but
gateway's fine. So what we're gonna do, and I don't know what this 24 is after it. Will, do you know? Is it 24 hours lease or what is it?
So this is what is called CIDR notation.
Okay.
So what this is saying is, you would actually have this whole block there, so you don't really need that there. So it would be 9 dot.
Just we don't even need the 24.
/32 would be the exact. Because when you look at an IP address, everything's broken up into octates.
Got it.
So
eights.
4 8s equals 32.
Got it. Perfect. So we're gonna do that, and this is fine because that's the IP address of our router.
Yep.
So we're okay with that. Yep. We're perfect. And things are going to drop off as soon as we. Oh yeah, of course we want the web admin interface. How else are you going to see what's going on? Yeah, we want to install a web server, and yeah, we want it to log all queries. We want to see everything, and again, yeah, we want to see everything. And we're going to fast forward here for a minute. It is now complete. For Pie-Hole, so we've got all this information here, and you probably want to put it somewhere, put it in a notepad, put it somewhere. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to copy the whole thing. Hit Control Insert. If you right click on it, it's just going to go away real quick, so I've saved it over to the side here. You can't see it on my other screen, but it's there. Click OK. And now it looks like things are complete here, so the last thing to do is to configure the Dietpi. So to do that, we are going to type Dietpi -config because we need to set a static IP address. We're going to go to Network Options, and we are going to go to the Ethernet because we are plugged into the Ethernet. And you don't want to do this over Wi-Fi, trust me. Really just stick with Ethernet. You can see it's on DHCP mode. We don't want that. We want static. So we're going to click enter, and you can now see that it's now listed as static. And the static IP address, we're going to have to change that to what I set it for in the other, in Pie-Hole, and as well as in the router, which is 1.9. So we're going to use that. That's good. And the static gateway, because we're using a router and not my cable modem, it is going to be 1.1. So just make sure you set those properly. And we're going to go ahead and hit apply. And of course, yes. And yep, we are going to do this. And we're going to let that roll, and we'll see you in a minute while we fast forward. So just a quick update in the Raspberry Pi. When we put The address in there is 192.168.9/32. It didn't like it, so we went back and changed it to /24. And we're going to go ahead and go right into the Raspberry Pi through our web browser. We do not need PuTTY anymore. In fact, unless you're going to be doing something else, you really don't need PuTTY anymore. So we're going to go into here. It's got the nice little login there. It's already got queries and all that kind of good stuff. And we are going to log into it, and we're going to use that password that came up, and I'll show you here. It is this guy right here that came up on that screen that gave you your password. We're going to log in to Pie-Hole using that password. And now we are in, and we can already see that all these things have been sending out queries to the Raspberry Pi asking, if this can go through or not. And we've got all these domains that are blocked here already. We've only got 58,787 domains blocked. We're going to change that because there is a hell of a lot more violators than what we've got here. So we're going to grab all these telemetry lists from firebog.net. These are very good, and it blocks out a heck of a lot of stuff, and things are going to start running a lot faster on your internet very soon here. So we're going to go to group management. We're going to say add list, and what we do is we just go ahead and paste all those guys right in here. It's fine. You don't have to worry about separating them. We're going to click add. Look at that. It's adding them. And then there's one other one we're going to add. It's this guy right here. If you look at any of these URLs, they're just text files. We're going to add this guy as well. So let's copy that. We're going to go ahead back into here, paste it, and we'll put all these URLs in the description of the video, so that way you can click on them, make it nice and easy. Click add, and we are good to go. There is this little button right here. If you do not click this, it's not going to put it into effect. So we got to click that. We're going to click update. It's going to take a minute. Alright, so now we're all done. Everything has been updated. We're in good shape. And we're going to go back to the dashboard and look. And we have 1.3 million domains blocked, which we're going to see this start climbing up to probably about 45%, 50%. And that is blocking out all the garbage where these different companies try to come in and get analytics information and sell you ads. And as you go ahead and go around to your different websites that you're used to visiting, you're going to find there's a lot less ads and different things loading, which is going to make your internet connection much faster. If you see anything in here that you want to try to blacklist, go ahead and try it. It may cause you some problems, and if it does, all you have to do is go into your blacklist and basically whitelist anything that you've hit the blacklist button on. What do you think about this, Will? What's going on?
It looks fantastic. You were telling me when you tested it out earlier, it improved your stuff by at least 50%?
Yeah, I would say at least 50%. And I'm going to go ahead and go on to some websites right now on my phone real quick, just for fun, just to watch it start logging some queries.
I mean, look at that. The numbers already gone up to 13.7.
And I'm on this website on my phone that I'm used to seeing lots of ads on. I see no ads, and this is just spectacular to not see any ads on the phone.
And it's loading up right away, no delays.
We'll go ahead and try a website here. Let's do sciencealert.com. They do have lots and lots of ads on this site, and we're just going to look down here. There's always all this sponsored content, and none of it's there. It's gone. It's not there. So this is great, I'm just used to seeing so many ads here.
Page loads right away.
Yeah, well, what's another website you see lots of ads on, Will?
Like MSN.com, I know that has
MSN.com?
Yep.
Let's go there.
Like no ads on the sides.
Yeah,
no ads
look at
on
it.
Top.
It's beautiful. There's no ads.
Loaded right away.
Yeah, it loaded very quick. And again, I do not have like the world's best internet connection, but you can see ads are just missing because they're not loading. You got a lot of BS that just loads in these guys, and even if with a little bit of refinement, you can probably even go into here and look at the query log and start blacklisting anything where you're noticing that pops up a lot, but there's not much. I mean, outside of this 1.3 million, if you let this thing run overnight with all your devices connected, it'll probably get up to about 50, 60. But the best thing you can ever do, again, to improve your internet connection and your internet speed is at night, if you're streaming videos and you have computers that are on that you don't need on, they're always going out and just asking for these things. You can see there's just so much. Your computer is continuously asking for all these things, or I guess I should say that other computers are asking your computer for information constantly. So if you have a work computer that you can turn off at night while you're streaming videos, you have gaming computers that you can turn off while you're streaming videos, again, that's going to make your internet speed a heck of a lot faster.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. So, Will, overall, between the whiskey, we had the Bulleit, and of course, I've drank it all, and I've even eaten the ice because I'm starting to get hungry.
Ice. That's all I have left.
Yeah,
Ice.
I'm getting hungry, and I think we're going to have brats for dinner. What do you think about that, Will?
Sounds fantastic.
Brats after Bulleit and blocking all these assholes that try to get into your system to get information.
It's a win. I mean, we had fantastic whiskey.
Yes.
We just saved the internet speeds.
It's good against evil.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. So, mission accomplished, I think.
Successful day.
Tell us in the comments what you think about this, if it helped you, whether just understanding that Bulleit is a far superior whiskey to having a Jim Beam, or if, this Raspberry Pi project, Pie-Hole, helped you out. And, we'd really like to hear how you guys applied this and what kind of a success you had. And again, even if you have other suggestions, names for the show or anything else like that, please do put it in the comments. We'll really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And you guys have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever. And we will see you next year.